How you doing? How do you like this mud anyway? Isn't that great? I was standing over there in the line to get a hamburger and I heard these two ladies talking and they were sitting there saying, "I'm just sick and tired of telling me stay out of the mud. Stay out of the mud, stay out of the mud. Quit eating the corn dogs. No more fry bread, get out of there." You know, and I said, I had to intervene. I said, "Yeah, I know." I said, "Those kids are really awful, aren't they?" And that lady goes, "We're talking about our husbands." It's really a pleasure to be back here this evening here at the White Mountain Apache Tribal Fair. I make my home, my permanent home in Whiskey Flats, Arizona. I've decided to run for mayor over there. Anyway, this evening I was thinking I want to share just a few quick stories with you. I know I only have like about a few minutes, but I've done a lot of travel within the last year. One of the places I went to was up to Montana, up to Billings, Montana. Anybody from Montana? I was up there and I was driving down the road and I kept seeing these signs go by. It says, you know, it said Billings, Montana. And I thought, Billings, Montana. I was thinking, I wonder what the first Navajos thought when they came to Billings, Montana, you know. You know how they travel around to the rodeos and different things? And I could just see these two guys driving down the road, you know, driving along, comes the sign, goes, Billings, Montana. Finally, the one guy reaches over to his friend. He says, "Hey, buddy, wake up." "I wonder why they call that Billings, Montana." He says, "I don't know. Go back to sleep." But you know how Indians are. They get curious and they keep looking at the signs going by. You know, Billings, Montana. There's got to be a reason for that. He kept thinking. They came over the last hill, and sure enough, there it was, the huge city of Billings, Montana. They were driving towards it. The guy was kind of still sleepy, and he's looking ahead. All of a sudden, he goes, "Hey, buddy, I know why. Look at all those villains." Right? And then the other guy goes, "In there." Didn't even notice it. You ever notice there's something really strange about us? Is that I was wondering, where did our people learn how to sing? How did it all start? Did one day some guy walk out of his, house, wiki up somewhere and go, "Oh, I think I'll write a song today"? Or how did it happen? And I figured it out. I finally figured it out. It all happened on horseback. Our people learned how to sing on horseback. Because have you ever tried to sing and ride a horse at the same time? Really? It's just, right? And then I thought, if that's true, if that's really true, that means that because of the way the different Indians sing, like they have southern style and they have northern style. And I was thinking, that must be the further north you go towards Canada, the horses must be bonier. Because you get up there and they sing that northern style, they sing like, right? How many remember the late 1960s? I heard some guy up there go, "Yeah." Then his wife went like this, "Shut up." "I thought you said you were in the army." Right? country, wherever you were, White River, Navajo, any reservation in the United States, and on any Friday night, you could go to the community building, the chapter house, or the gym, and you could hear that sound coming from inside of the gym going like this. And no matter how close you put your ears to the wall, the songs still sounded like this. So you had to pay your money to go in, right? And outside in the parking lot are all the daddies' pickup trucks, right? And inside are all the girls. 6 girls in the front of the pickup. Never could figure that out. And they're all sitting in the front choking on Aquanet hairspray. You know, Aquanet hairspray is making a big comeback, huh? Didn't work today. You notice that they get that Aquanet hairspray and they start spraying their eye, like this. And then they used to take their comb, remember that? And they pull up a little piece of hair and they start going like this. You remember that? And they called it ratting your hair. Ratting your hair. That was before hantavirus day. And all those girls, you know, they go through this process called ratting your hair slowly, you know. They go one by one, and they keep going like this, and their hair would just start growing and growing and growing. And before you knew it, it looked like they had a giant tumbleweed on their shoulder. And then they take the same comb and go through a reverse process like magic, and they start combing it real carefully, you know. Really make it nice and round. And they always put those funny horns on themselves, you remember that? And you had to be real careful when you ask them to dance, because you go, oh man, oh! That's where that famous Indian saying came from. Anyway, right around that time I was thinking, there ought to be a song sung with the boarding school accent. You know, remember when they tried to teach you how to speak English? They said, I want you to say, mother. You know what's even more fun is when you try to teach tourists how to talk, right? Like today, this man came up to me and says, sir, could you teach me how to speak Indian? I says, well, it's pretty hard, you know. He says, come on, just show me how. I said, okay, I'm going to teach you how to say a real simple word. He says, what's that? I said, horse. He said, what? Horse. He says, okay, say it. Okay. I said, she. And they go, try it again one more time. I said, she. And then every time they try it, they always go, clink. Clink. I said, wait a minute. Put your molars about 1/8 inch apart. And put your tongue on the top of your mouth and let the air come out over your molars. And then you'll get it. He says, okay. He goes, his eyes got all big. He says, you mean you have to do all that? I said, well, we don't really go, all right, 1/8 of an inch apart. Here we go. The best word to try to teach him is shh, right? You ever try to do Indian accent tongue twisters? See if you can say this one. Like that. Okay, try this one. This is for you people who don't speak Indian, okay? Try this one. My mother bought some butter for my other brother's mother.